Hey everyone, today I would like to explain to you guys the overall Airbnb interview process, specifically for the site reliability engineering role. In the past month or two, I've been interviewing with a lot of different companies and Airbnb was one of them. The overall experience was really great. They definitely give out a good compensation. $270k USD as an annual salary. It is quite a lot. The office is beautiful as well. Most importantly, they spent roughly $5,000 USD to fly me out to SFO, just for the on-site interview. In this video, however, I'm not going to talk about the actual questions I received during the interview, but my next video will contain all of that. Let's get started. First thing first, how did I apply for this job? Maybe I was really lucky, but the application process was really easy and straightforward. I used LinkedIn to apply. You just type Airbnb and go to the job section and apply to any positions you're interested in. For me, I was really interested in the site reliability engineering role. I just had to fill out my basic information such as name, address, and so on, and include my resume. It took me literally less than 5 minutes to complete. After I submitted my application, I got a confirmation email from Airbnb, which is shown on the right side of the slide. Then I waited 3 to 4 days and a recruiter reached out to me with a list of questions. I also put the email I received on the left side. After I answered all of them, she arranged a quick phone call for about 30 minutes or so, asking general questions such as my past work experience, why I want to work at Airbnb, and what I'm looking for in a new role. I think as long as you express your interest in working at Airbnb during the call with the recruiter, you pretty much move on to the phone screen stage with no problem. After the phone call with the recruiter, I received an email containing detailed information about the phone screen interviews. Airbnb makes you go through 2 phone screens before they call you in for the on-site interview. During the phone screen interview, you use something called CoderPad, which is shown on the right side of the slide. You can choose any programming language you prefer. It has some auto-completion feature, but it is not as nearly good as an IDE such as IntelliJ. One quick tip here is that if you're outside of US, let them know in advance so they can either arrange an international phone call or a WebEx video screening platform. For me, I asked them to send me a Hangout invitation to avoid any long distance charges. My 2 phone screen interviews went pretty well, I think, so they invited me to their SFO office for an on-site interview. You will get an email like this, which contains various materials to prepare for the on-site interview. A technical recruiter also arranged a meeting to go over this in detail. They have this special type of interview called experience interview, where you get to chat with an Airbnb employee and share some of your past experiences. I thought it was pretty cool, but it becomes a bit repetitive because you have 2 of these. You get to travel for free. Pretty much all expenses are on Airbnb. They allow you to expense up to $50 USD per day for meals, drinks, and snacks. They cover pretty much all transportation, including flights and taxis. One tip, make sure you ask for either a premium or business seat for your flight. By default, they will get you an economy seat, but you can ask for an upgrade. It never hurts to ask. This time, I could only get premium, but way better than an economy seat for you. They book flights for you, but you need to book your own Airbnb with the MasterCard they give you. The budget is $250 USD per day. They uses the website called Pana to handle all the flights and the entire reimbursement process. Let's take a quick look at the on-site interview schedule. It looks daunting, isn't it? You need to survive 10 different interviews in a day. Before we dive into individual interviews, let's go through some photos of their beautiful new office. They recently opened up a new office on 999 Brandon Street. The office looked really amazing. It looked the best out of all the other companies I've visited so far. Every meeting room has its own theme. They looked super nice. They definitely put a lot of thoughts and efforts into the interior design. Alright, let's get down to the real business. When I arrived at the Airbnb office, I had to wait a bit at the reception area until the recruiter came to pick me up. The first 15 minutes was just connecting with the recruiter in person, and she showed me around the office, answered any questions I had before the actual technical interviews. At last, she escorted me to the interview room. Ironically, the interview schedule had changed a bit. They removed one of the system design interview from the schedule. I didn't complain. less interviews, faster I become free from this paramount stress. The next 45 minutes was a technical deep dive session. In this interview, I had to pick one of my past projects and explained in depth about the design and different trade-offs. Right after that, without any break, I had a coding interview where I had to solve a coding question and write the full solution on my laptop using my preferred IDE, IntelliJ. Then I had this unique experience interview. They ask you something like, what does Airbnb mission mean to you? How did you deal with conflict with your friends? What is the hardest moment you had to go through in your life? Stuff like this. Then I got to eat lunch with an Airbnb employee. Their food was so-so. I just ate salad, nothing else. After lunch, similar interviews continue. I had another coding interview. Then I had a system design interview where I had to design a system with an interviewer, given a problem. After that, I finally got a 15 minutes break. Last interview was another experience interview. I found this really similar to the first experience interview I had. I was mostly repeating what I said to the other person. At 3 o'clock, I had a final chat with a technical recruiter and he escorted me out. After waiting for 2 days, I received an offer from them. Hooray! When I calculated everything, their total compensation was about $270K per year. Their base salary was $180K and stock grant was roughly $240K vested over 4 years. I also got the statistics on L4 engineers' compensation in Airbnb from Levelify website. I found everything similar except for the stock option. I had offers from other companies, Google and Uber, so I was able to use their high stock options to get a better stock grant here. Alright, this is it. If you have any further questions about the interview process, feel free to comment below. Also, check out my next video to learn about actual technical questions I received during the phone screen and on-site interviews.